Getting old's not so bad. Daughter keeps me fed, and my working days are done. Take my advice. Never gamble. Damn Ernskar has me in debt up to the eyes. Too many drinking games, too many bets, and I'm too old to ever raise the coin on my own. He's a stubborn oaf. I don't know what good it'll do. You should speak to my daughter, Yvette. She's the brains of the family.
A wanderer like you must have plenty of tales to tell. But I'm afraid I'm too busy to hear them. Seems there's no end to the needs of the Imperials. But what can I help you with? It's almost all I have time for these days. The men training here in Solitude, and the troops out in the field, they all need weapons and armor. But I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. To be honest, no. But High King Torrig supported them. And now, her Lady Elisif has thrown in with them. You could say I'm a king's man at heart. I guess that's Jarl's man now. My loyalty lies with Solitude. So, where Jarl Elisif leads, I follow. I think I would, if it weren't for my son and my wife. Oh, Seema would have my hide if I even suggested I might step foot on a battlefield. You think Stormcloaks and Legionnaires are dangerous? Ha! Return anytime you need arms or armor. My forge never rests. I got some fine armor.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions. Biren said you got here just before the execution. Must have been a lovely first sight. Baron's my husband. He works the forge up at Castle Dower. I barely see him nowadays, what with him filling orders for the army. No, that was an ugly affair. High King Torrig's death has turned the whole town on its head. Between you and me, he wasn't even that good a king. All of those rambling speeches about the Empire this and the Empire that. Some might call this junk. Me, I call them treasures. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. come back to bits and pieces anytime.
Oh, wow! That was just sitting there? I wish I found it first.
What do you want, Imperial? Need a weapon? By the looks of you, yeah. Think I've got something you can use. It's almost all I have time for these days. The men training here in Solitude, and the troops out in the field, they all need weapons and armor.
Please, take pity on an old madman. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind.
You're new here, right? Welcome to the Bard's College. It's like a musical museum. You know, I don't get the impression that I'm very well liked at the college. Thanks for taking the time. People never want to talk to me. Yes? Okay, I'll go now. All right then. Late 171.
Welcome to Solitude, home of the arts here in Skyrim. Ah, you've returned. How goes the task I gave you?
A taffy was making eyes at me.
Take a look.
You should tell him to mind his own business.
I have to admit I didn't think it would actually be there. Now, let's take a look at this. Oh. Oh no. This won't do at all. The copy is incomplete. It's aged to the point that parts are unreadable. And the parts that are readable, well, Bardic verse has come a long way since ancient times. It means I can't read it to the court. Without the verse, I won't be able to convince Elisif of the importance of the burning of King Olaf festival. If she isn't convinced of the festival's importance, then she won't reverse her decision to stop the effigy burning. It means that the burning of King Olaf, which the Bards' College has held for time immemorial, won't be happening. Make it up? That doesn't seem appropriate. I suppose I could copy his style based on what you brought me, but I have no idea what happened in between these verses. O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenex, a con for the ages. King Olaf was Olaf One-Eye? He famously captured the dragon Numenex and took him to Dragon's Reach. What do we say really happened? I find that highly unlikely, but the court will love it. I'm writing it in. Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Strange. According to history, Solitude attacked Winterhold, but Asgeir seemed to be saying Olaf reacted. What do we say happened? Oh, that is exciting! I'm sure the court and the Jarl will love it. I'm writing it in now. It has a few final lines, but that's all we needed to add. I need to head to court immediately and present this. You should come. I do hope the court likes the verse. I think we've done an excellent job of recreating it. I think my voice is ready. I hope we've done this well.
Ah, Viarmo. I assume you are here to petition for the reinstatement of the burning of King Olaf festival.
I am, Jarl. I wish to present King Olaf's verse from the Poetic Edda, recovered this very day from the Bard's tomb.
You mentioned something that would convince us the festival should take place, but I didn't expect King Olaf's lost verse. Please proceed.
O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenex, a con for the ages. No shouting match between dragon and man, and no fire or fury did this battle entail. Olaf was Numenex in human form. On moonless nights, he would spread wings and sail. Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Olaf gave orders, Winterhold disguises, an attack on Solitude, total destruction to follow. His men dressed up and then went out to fight, but they reversed Olaf's orders, much to Winterhold's sorrow. So ends the story of Olaf the Liar, a thief and a scoundrel. We of Solitude commit to the fire. In Solitude, bards train for their service. They also gather each year and burn a king who deserves it.
You have proven your point, Viarmo. The festival is truly a celebration of solitude and a condemnation of false kings.
I thank you, and the college thanks you, Jarl.
Furthermore, I believe that such a fine poem deserves some payment of patronage. The college will be generously rewarded.
Oh, thank you yet again. I will make sure our applicant, who was instrumental in recovering the poem, will be well rewarded.
Steward, I will need the following reagents for my studies.
Unbelievable!
Please see to them.
You have done us a great
Miss
service
Stentor,
here. I
these
can't
are
begin
quite
to thank you
expensive.
enough.
I trust you know how limited
Soon.
the Hold's funds
Soon.
are at this time.
These things must be done properly.
Yes,
You
and I'm
will be
also aware
inducted
of the
as part of the
necessary
festival
measures
itself.
have been in the city's defense.
I need
My
you to go
experiments are
speak
all
to
I ask for in
Yorn.
return.
He was preparing the effigy
well.
of King Olaf.
But I
Tell him to
suspect
finish the
your grace will not
preparations.
be
The festival is back on!
I've seen Jarls come and go. This one only became Jarl because her husband died. She'll be replaced in a matter of months.
Miss Stentor, watch your tongue in the Jarl's court.
On threat of what, exactly? This city wouldn't run without me. Now, if you'll excuse me, my work awaits. If I needed something from you, you would know it.
Steward, when is my appointment to meet with General Tullius? There are
I have
some
no
issues
time
I
or
must speak
patience for
about.
a student.
I'm
Perhaps
afraid
the
we
College
shall
of Winterhold
reschedule
will
my
grant you
race.
admission.
By all accounts, waging war takes his every moment.
I can teach you,
Again?
but I won't be held responsible
Simply
for what you
cancel
do
an
with the
appointment
knowledge.
Jarl? He serves in my capital city.
I'm afraid
I
you
was,
can't.
to my shame.
His authority
The whole
is
court was in
preemptive.
attendance.
You
I've
also
seen much
serve.
in my time, but that was a gruesome
He
day.
uses all of Hafingard's resources and doesn't answer to me in the slightest. This hardly seems fair.
Ulfric showed up at the Gates of Solitude requesting an
Word rarely
audience.
applied to politics.
We thought he was here to ask Torrig to declare independence. By the time we realized Ulfric was here to challenge Torrig, it was already too late. By Nord custom, once the challenge was issued in court, Torg had no choice but to accept. Had he not, Ulfric would have had cause to call a new moot and a new vote for High King. Torg had some martial training, of course, but it mattered little that day. When Ulfric's lips parted, when he unleashed the power of the Thu'um, that shout, that ancient and terrible tongue, ripped Torg asunder. I was a member of the court during the reign of Torg's father. It was Torg who appointed me to the position. I like to think I've aged well. I'm certainly wiser than I once was, and I know when one should speak, and when one should hold their tongue. Nothing. I'm busy, and I don't like being bothered unless I'm expecting something from you. Oh, don't give me that look. Fine, I suppose I can find some menial task to set your mind on. We have something of a vampire problem. Bodies have been found with blood drained. I know of a den nearby you can wipe out as a precaution. I don't expect you to be capable of even that. Vampires are clever hunters. More clever than you, definitely.
Do you have business with the court? Of course he does. What sort of a question is that? Maybe you've been listening to Eriker. There's been loose talk among some of the Thanes, and I suspect he's the cause of it. You'll pay those rumors no heed if you wish to retain your welcome in this city. She may be young, but Elisif is the Jarl by right. And here in Skyrim, if nothing else, we respect the traditions of our fathers' fathers. You'd do well to remember that. That remains to be seen. By rights, she has a legitimate claim as High Queen of Skyrim. But we must have the support of the other Jarls for that claim to have any meaning. Should they accept her rule, we will have peace. Absolutely not. That wing has been sealed for hundreds of years, and for good reason. They say the ghost of Pelagius the Mad still haunts it. Ghost or not, there are reminders of his dark rule that are best left buried away. Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
Be quick.
I am the
I have
Jarl's
little
steward.
patience for mundane concerns.
If you have court business to tend to, you talk to me.
Yes?
Please, feel
Until
welcome to
next
court.
Julius, there are some
Respect
issues
the
with
law, and you'll have no trouble in
I'm
Dragon
afraid he's had to reschedule,
All right, then.
my grace. By all accounts, waging war takes his every moment.
Again? He can't simply cancel an appointment with the Jarl. He serves in my capital city.
I'm afraid he can. His authority comes from the Emperor, who you also serve, technically.
He uses all of Hafingar's resources and doesn't answer to me in the slightest? This hardly seems fair.
Fair is a word rarely applied to politics, my grace. I'm afraid you must learn to accept this.
If you have business, please see Falk
Steward, I
Firebeard,
will need
my
the following
steward.
reagents for my studies. Please see to them.
A question I am all too familiar with. One my very Thanes ask often.
I trust
They
you
worry
know
that
how limited
Tullius is so
these
focused on the
funds are.
war that he risks forgetting what's best for our people.
And I'm also aware
The real irony is that, while General Tullius is certainly no Nord, the people of Skyrim would be lost without him.
Very well.
Trust is always difficult, especially for my people. Yet we must trust in Tullius's leadership. For what other choice do we have?
She'll be replaced in a matter of months.
Miss Stenton,
Not yet, no.
it's your tongue in the
Although it is
Jarl's
true
court.
my husband Torg was the High King, and I am his widow.
This city wouldn't run without
Now is not the time to lay claim to such a title. This land is riven by war, and her people suffer for it. The Stormcloaks are a blight on Skyrim, and like any blight, must be purged. Only then will I take my rightful place as High Queen. Because that's what traitorous cowards do when they desire power. Ulfric coveted the High King's throne. He thought he deserved it more than Torg. And so he came before my husband, and He shouted at that terrible voice, like something out of a legend or a nightmare. When Ulfric unleashed such fury, my husband, he simply ceased to be. That is all I will say, for it grieves me to speak of it. Be well. Pray for Solitude and my husband.
No lollygagging.